Like to know more about this illness. Watch this.
Some people think diabetes is an old age condition, but not so. It's actually pretty common in children. In fact, the World Health Organization says millions of children across the world have diabetes, but many parents do not know that their children are living with the disease. Do you know that approximately 2% of adolescents, young people between 15 and 19 years old in Jamaica, have diabetes? That's what we hear from the Ministry of Health. To deal with the problem, this government body has been regularly promoting healthy lifestyle practices. The strategy is meant to reduce or prevent the incidence of diabetes in children. Diabetes is a lifestyle disease that is affecting a number of Jamaicans, both children and adults. Doctors say you're diabetic if your pancreas is not producing enough insulin. Here to tell us more about this condition is Professor Errol Morrison, President of the Diabetes Association of Jamaica. Professor Morrison, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
What are the different types of diabetes and which is more common in children?
Just before I get into that, in your introduction, you said if the pancreas is not producing enough insulin. But there are other situations where the pancreas is producing adequate insulin, but the body is not using it properly. So, that right away differentiates the two. And when we begin to speak about children in particular, which is our focus today, we are talking mostly about where the pancreas is not producing insulin. So you're dead on. Now, why does the pancreas not produce enough insulin? It can be a variety of reasons. Most commonly, in children, it might simply be an infection. You might be surprised to hear that certain viral illnesses, even the good old mumps and the flu, can result in damage to the pancreas, and thus it won't function. Having just explained the underlying cause, these are categorized in two main types. Where the pancreas is not able to function because it's damaged, that is type 1, which is where the individual will need the injection of insulin. You have to put back what the pancreas would normally produce. That's type 1. Where the young person is now gaining weight and developing the diabetes because of the lifestyle, that's type 2. In bygone days, you never heard of type 2 in children. And that's why we're so concerned now that you see both the types 1 and 2 in the young.
How can you prevent it in your children?
What we need to do is to reach out to parents, guardians, friends, peers, all those who, for example, suspect that they may be more prone to developing diabetes. If there's a family history, mother, father, aunt, cousin with diabetes, then you should be advising these young children, watch out, keep your weight down. How are you going to do that? More physical activity. Let's get out and play cowboy and Indians again, right? Instead of just watching all the computers and so on at the parties. Get them into more games.
So these children, some of them know they get diabetic from a younger age, and then they move on to adulthood and they're still diabetic. How does this impact them as an individual and the wider economy?
When a child develops diabetes, that is a label and a condition for life. Diabetes is going to be affecting the blood vessels, very importantly. The blood gets thick from the elevated sugar. It's like molasses, So it can't flow properly. It blocks the blood vessels. It's going to cause damage to the tissues. And over time, within 10 to 15 years, you can bet your bottom dollar, damage is going to be occurring in the heart, in the brain, in the kidneys, in the legs, in the nerves. And as a result of that, you will find that the quality of life is going to be affected. Now, if a young person, say in the early teens, gets this, in another 10, 15 years, they are early 30s, when they are beginning to peak in their potential for earning, investment, manners at the workplace. And if they are going to be now affected by the diabetic situation because the blood sugars are high, the blood vessels are being clogged, they can't function as well as they should, that is a reduction in productivity.
Thanks a lot, Professor Morrison. Experts say the main symptoms in children and adults may include excessive thirst, weight loss, lack of energy, and frequent urination. You should know that the symptoms more typical in children include tummy pains, headaches, and behavior problems. Living with diabetes can put families under considerable strain. Understanding all the different aspects of the disease and its treatment requires patience, but will really benefit your child and family life. For further information on diabetes, please consult your doctor. You can also get useful tips from the Diabetes Association of Jamaica at 1 Downer Avenue, Kingston 5. Telephone 927-6774.
Lift up your hearts with a smile. Lift up your feet with a dance. Lift up your spirits with a song. It's family time. It's family time. It's family time.
This next segment is in salute of our teachers, and it was written and produced by Olani.
T is for tolerant, able to cope with so many different personalities and behaviors. E is for expert.